Right, so I'm in the greenhouse again today, and I'm potting on part of my little series of videos. Started with seedlings, so I started with sowing seeds, then I went on to seedlings. Now I'm on to relatively big plants that need potting on, and I'm going to do a few examples and start off just with these few little brassicas here. So these are little Savoy cabbages. I'm just going to pop those on into these 11cm pots, and then I've got some really nice peppers, potting those on into these what are these, I don't know, 2 litre pots or something, and I've also got some nice little tomatoes. I'm going to pop those on again into those pots. So we'll go through the whole process, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So let's start with these. So the two reasons I'm potting these on, one is that they've got quite a bit of root development in them now. They'll start to get pot bound. You can see there, looks quite, you can already see quite a bit of evidence there that that's starting to get pot bound. So let's give it a bit bigger pot. Let's put it into the pot at right angles to the pot so that there's plenty of space around it. You'll see that better when we do something a bit bigger. And you can bury the seed leaves, you don't have to take them off. They just rot down in the compost. They'll probably break off when you firm it in as well. So that's what we're looking for. Basically we want the compost just below that first true leaf there. Now you could bury them deeper if the plants were a bit leggier, but actually in that case that I think is just perfect. Gives it all of its existing leaf area, so it'll grow on nice and strong. And yeah, it's kind of a perfect little specimen of a little cabbage. So the second reason that it's worth potting on is just to give the plants a bit more space, so they're not competing for nutrients, they're not competing for water, they're not competing for light. So a nice big pot, loads of nutrients in it, they won't need potting on again, and so loads of moisture, they won't dry out quickly, and they've got more space. They've come from a 9-cell tray, 18 in a full-size drip tray, to 6 in a full-size drip tray, so 3 times as much space available to them. Makes a big difference. They'll really enjoy all that extra light. So these are the trays I'm using at the moment. I've got these off Amazon. They're Garland. They're really strong. Look at that, really strong. No flex in them at all. Fantastic trays. And these 11cm pots fit really nicely in them. So a little bit of space in between them, and you get 6 in a tray. The only problem with them is that although these sort of cells fit really nicely in them, the containerized trays don't quite fit. So they're great for potting on, but they're not great for first sowings of seeds and pricking out and things like that. Anyway, that's those done. I'll just show you the rest of them here. So some little cauliflowers there. Probably didn't need potting on those, but they're in the same tray, so I just thought might as well do them all. And the rest of those little cabbages there. So that's all that done. See if I can find somewhere to put this. Right. So let's take a look at the peppers. So the peppers are currently in those same 11cm pots. They are, how old now? 3 months old, are they? Yeah, three months old. So they're a good size for 3 months old. They've got quite a lot of little buds on them now, so we're taking all these buds off while we're doing the potting on. I do, as I always say, like to leave one bud on just so I get one flower, and I use that flower to spot aphids, and while I'm potting on, I'm looking for aphids, and I have found some. I've squashed them, so yeah, that's pretty good. So now let's look at this root ball here. You can actually see the roots coming out the bottom of the pot there. They're a bit tight in these pots, so you have to be gently eased out. Yeah, so really good root ball there. Definitely in need of potting these on. And you can see from the height of them, can you see how tall that is now? Really, I would prefer that to be a little bit more compact, and the reason it's so tall is just competition for light, basically. You know, though that top is getting light, but this lower part's not getting so much light. It's trying to sort of come out little leaf at these leaf junctions with side shoots, but again, not quite enough light to kind of get that really going. So in these much bigger pots, they'll be really happy. I've warmed this compost up a little bit. A little bit too much in there. So we want this pot like that. So we've got all this space in the corners to fill the pot. I'm feeding these at the moment every third feed with Chili Focus fertiliser, which is way less than the recommended amount, but I find the recommended amount is too much. So the plants either grow too big, too fast, or they show sort of actually signs of stress, I think, sometimes. So I think if you look at some of the other YouTube goers and compare my plants with theirs, you'll probably see theirs are looking like they've been forced a little bit too much, whereas I think that is looking pretty healthy. So apart from the few aphids, I'm pretty happy with these peppers. So let's just do let's do a tomato. So yeah, it's looking quite nice. No sign of aphids on these. Signs of flowers soon though. Not very long actually. I think I'll probably start seeing flowers actually coming out within a few, within a week I should think. And at this point I'm not sure whether I'll take them off, because I do want these as early as possible. I just need these plants to be big enough to support the flowers, so I'll see. I haven't made up my mind yet when I'm actually going to start pinching flowers off and when I'm going to leave them on. But again, pretty happy with that. That is a good root ball, definitely in need now of moving on into a bigger pot. You can be a bit rough with the tomatoes, unlike the cucumbers, which you need to be a bit careful with. So I'm filling this up as much as I can while still being able to water. I'm still top watering. I still prefer really to top water than bottom water. I find that you're more precise basically, you know, so you know exactly how much water is going into the plant when you top water. When you bottom water, you don't really know. You know, one plant could be getting us absolutely loads of water and the compost could be completely saturated, and another plant might just not be taking it up quite as quickly, and that one can be not saturated at all. And I don't want saturated compost. So, and I don't want it too dry, you know, it's a precise science basically, getting compost to be nice and moist but not overly wet. And you can, as I say, just be so much more precise with top watering than bottom watering. Obviously, once the plants are like really big and robust, you can do what you want, but at this stage I still think it's nice to top water, so I'm really happy with that. I think that's going to grow very nicely. And I'll just do a cucumber. To be really careful with cucumbers, they're not really keen on being potted on, but it's a necessity because they're not going to be planted out for at least 4 weeks. So super careful, but yeah, I mean, they're ready really. I couldn't have left them for much longer. So just be super careful with these. It's not in my nature really to be super careful. I'm sort of generally quite rough with my plants, but I have to kind of constrain myself with the cucumbers. And definitely, again, with cucumbers, they really don't like to be overwatered, so you've really got to be, again, as I say, top watering with these ideally, so you know exactly what's going on. Right, so I'm going to get on with these and I'll show you them all when I'm finished, because I do want to show you the sort of spacings that I've got for them and where they're going next. So 2 hours later and I'm pretty much all tidied up now. So I've potted on all of my red cabbages here and my little Savoy cabbages. Got 6 of those and 3 cauliflowers. I've got some bigger Savoys already in the ground, this sort of size, and I've got some bigger red cabbages already in the ground. Some that sort of size, some about twice the size, some about 3 times the size. So nice kind of succession. Got some colettes as well, early colettes. So all of these are just early sowings. I've got all my main crops still to come, including all my main crop peppers, which are about this big at the moment, and my main crop tomatoes, which haven't even been sown. So they're all outside, just sort of enjoying a bit of hardening off, taking up about twice as much space as they took a couple of hours ago. But you know, that's fine. I've just got enough grow light space for those. The cucumbers, early cucumbers, these are the ones for the conservatory on the front and for the greenhouse at the back. And the potatoes are coming on quite nice. I've got my first earlies there, all well up. The next batch of early ones, these are just ready for putting into their final pots. This next batch are just about to break surface. I can actually see them just breaking surface now. And these that were potted on, I don't know, a week and a half ago or something like that, they're just breaking surface. So that all the successions of potatoes are coming on quite nicely. And yeah, I think that's about it. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.